Convo on Boomplay, and today we are going to be chit-chatting with one of Nigeria's foremost gospel artists, Mrs. Sola Allyson. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, it's so wonderful to have you in the studio today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I am a fan, and my favorite work of yours is there's like a fusion of your songs put together where you also ministered, and it was wonderful. I love that. And then let's go back in time. Your first album, Eji Owuro. It has an interesting how that whole album came about. It's so interesting. Please share that with us.
Well, Eji Owuro was the soundtrack of a film produced by Bimboshi, and I was contracted to do the soundtrack, and that was it. I read the scripts of the film, I saw the preview copy, and the love I wanted in my mind, in my heart at that point. So I poured my heart into the song. When the film was released, the executive producer thought if we recorded the songs into an album, it would sell. And we did, and that was it.
And it's even more interesting how you met this particular person.
Okay, so you know that.
Yeah, I know that story, and I was like, wow, look at how everything just panned out. And then another intriguing thing about your journey is when you started music at 13.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you get the support of your family? How did that come about?
Well, for me to have started as a backup singer at that time, at 13, means I wasn't under the influence of my parents. You know, they were not married. So I had the independence that I wanted as a young teenager. So I chose, I knew people who were always doing studio works, who were always, when destiny, decides something for you, things will just work out. And as long as you are serious with it, what I say is I do everything my hands find to do without diligence. So when that happens, you are sure that you are going to evolve and transition into what destiny really wants you to be. So there wasn't any pressure for me. There wasn't anybody saying, you will not do music. But I know if my dad had his way, he wouldn't have allowed me. But when I started, I only informed them just because I needed them to know, not because they had any decision to make for me.
Talking about now, you're not just a singer, you're a voice coach. You also do background music for movies. And you minister. Is it safe to put that?
Well, it's fine. It's fine. And for me, I sing. But for different segments, systems, there are words that we use. It doesn't take us away from the essence of what we do. Because in the rendition I talked about in the beginning, you talked about talking about your background, now using your background as a focus. You talked about how you grew up with, cultural, contemporary, and all that. So is that what you say informed? Because you fuse both folklore, gospel, and you fuse that together. How do you manage to do all that and still minister through your songs at the same time? Well, like you said, it's a function of how I grew up. Different places where I found myself. I was born a Muslim. I practiced Islam for many years before I became a Christian. I had to go to a Christian school and things like that. And because I could sing, you would easily be identified in school. We used to do cultural dance and all that. Then myself, I chose to become a Christian. So, and I had attended every African instituted church, not all these Pentecostal churches that we have. Of course, it's a Pentecostal church we attend now. But for me, I attended Cele, CNS, CAC, everywhere, Apostolic Church, everywhere. I lived with different people, and when you live with someone, you follow them to their church. So all those things were preparing me. I didn't know. Then I became a backup singer very young. So all the people I've worked with, all those experiences in a way formed my musical ideas. Then I went to school to study music.
Yes.
So, at school, you will be taught the rudimental knowledge about music. So you know how to do your voice. When a note begins from here, it has to resolve here and all of that. So everything is just a totality of how I grew up. And it could minister to people because I could identify with them or they could identify with me. I have stories too. I have pain that I carry too. I have scars that I can show. You know, I get vulnerable with the people that listen to me. I pour out myself. Of course, I choose what I want to tell out of my story, but I tell my story as pure and simple as it is.
So you're currently working, or rather, almost out your 6th album.
My 10th.
Your 10th.
Don't let me be angry. It's 10.
You see, so it's coming out. Ìmísí.
Ìmísí. Let me teach you. Ìmísí.
Great. Tell us about that. What should we expect from that? What informed? How long did it take you to put this work together?
I began working on Ìmísí in December last year. And I'm going to conclude anytime from now. Ìmísí, the title of it is Ìmísí, and the Ìmísí means inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, pouring into me from above. And it's going to be my 10th album. And I'm very happy and grateful about the fact that so I did the first one, second one, third one, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. And all of these songs are a blessing to people. You know, I'm very, very grateful that Ìmísí is coming. And what should you expect? As usual, purity in simplicity. Just pouring myself as I receive. I'm always saying, and it is true, I receive my songs. I don't sit down to say, okay, this is what is trending now, let me write about it. My songs come to me in different ways. It could be in the dream, it could be I just hear, it just comes to me. It could be some experience that I see and ideas will be forming in my head about it. So what should we expect? We should expect that the Spirit of God will speak to us and everybody. I always say that I receive my songs for people like me to have their own words to express themselves. So I'm receiving those songs for my world. I'm not receiving those songs just for myself. Of course, I'll make money and all of that, but it's not just for me. You know, so people, by the grace of God, be expectant to be blessed and helped again.
So as a voice coach now, how important is it for a singer to have mastery of their voice?
Oh, that's the basic thing. That's the basic thing. Everybody has different kinds of voices, different characteristics of. Your voice is different from mine. My voice is different from the other person's. So you have to know, ascertain what range that you are, soprano, alto, contralto, tenor, bass, basso profundo, things like that. You have to know exactly where you are. You know, so it's very, 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 that's the major, that's the basic for you to be able to have a grasp, the mastery of what you have. It's with everything in life. That's with every expression. You must be able to know, okay, you're sitting down here speaking to me. Of course, you needed to know what you want to talk to me about and how you're going to talk to me about it.
Okay, so you've actually worked with a lot of major artists. You've worked with Asuma, Obesere, Daddy Shoki, and then
you really know my story.
I know, right? I mean, so you've come a ways. It's been a journey so far. I mean, how will you describe that journey so far, leading up to Ìmísí? And then what changes do you expect to see, especially in the gospel singing?
Well, I mean, my journey is an interesting one, very interesting and colorful. You know, I worked with Pasuma, I worked with Obesere, and here I am now.
Daddy Shoki. So I'm wondering, Daddy Shoki, we have the whole, you know.
I worked with them as studio backup singers.
Okay.
You know, I was a professional backup singer for many, many, many years, you know, before I hit the limelight, as you people would say. So it's an interesting journey. I believe I was being prepared. Yeah. You know, I believe I worked with Yinka Efele, and I believe I was being prepared for now. I didn't know. I knew that I would use my voice to be a blessing, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. But I'm very, very happy and grateful that this is what I had seen some time ago, but I couldn't, you know, I couldn't lay my hold on it. I just knew I would stand and sing and people will be changed or blessed and all of that. So it's an interesting one. And how that journey has affected me, of course, it has given me insights into exactly who is an artist, how are they, then I will choose how I want to be. You know, of course, expertise, you gave me expertise, so I can sing anything I want to sing. and I studied music in school. So I have the talent, I have the experience, and I have the skill. I have the training. So I was able to choose what I want to do with music. Music did not, I mean, music chose me, yes, but it wasn't because I didn't have a choice that I'm singing what I'm singing. I could have decided to do R&B, I could decide to do classical, I could decide to do Fuji or reggae or whatever, but I chose this one because I am sure of all those. I've gone through all those ones. Yeah. So it prepared me for who I am today. And I'm very, very immensely grateful. And so what I expect in the, honestly, I don't expect anything. Because everybody has their form of expression. Yeah. And we should stop boxing people into this is what they should be. Everybody, look at Adekunle Gold. Yeah. It began with a particular sound, and now his sound has evolved. Yeah. And he's enjoying himself. He's blessing the people that are in the segment of the industry, of the society, or whatever. So I don't expect anybody to be a particular way that I think. The awareness is getting bigger. You know, people are knowing more. People are evolving. People are opening up. So what I just think everybody should be is be true with yourself. Be true. You don't have to tell us that you sing gospel. Sing. We would know. So when I began, when you said I'm a gospel musician, I was like, you know, I don't really care what you call me. Yeah. But I mean, the evidence is out there. The results are out there. What I want my music to do is when you come across my music, if you identify with it, something will happen for the transformation of your spirit. That's it for me. So whether you call it gospel or it's traditional or whatever, I call my music spiritual. I don't call it gospel, but it's okay as long as it achieves the purpose, the essence. So everybody should be true to themselves.
Thank you very much, for coming with us today.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best on Ìmísí. We look forward to listening to you and look forward to having you back.
Thank you very much.